Hi guys, my name is Gui Benites. I am a professional photographer based out of New York City, and welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to start this video by thanking you all for watching my previous and first video. That was really cool, all the comments I got. We reached a ton of views in a short period of time, which I was not expecting, so that was pretty fun, very exciting. So I just wanted to thank you for watching the previous video, and I hope you watch this one and the future ones as well. But let's start this video where I wanted to share with you all my favorite accessories for the Q2. So we're gonna talk a little bit about cases, about accessories that are more like on the fashion side, and also some lighting accessories that I think are really good too. So let's start with the actual Leica case, which I've been using recently. I picked this up probably about a month or so ago. I've had a black case, which I'm going to show to you in a little bit as well, but I wanted to switch up a little bit because I'm going on a trip to Italy in the spring, so I wanted to have just like a different option that would match my outfit. So I went for this brown shade. They have this in multiple different colors. Along with the case, I picked up the strap in the same color, which I think matches really beautifully. It's the exact same shade of brown, so they go perfectly together. I just wanted to pick this up so I had another option, and I've been really enjoying it so far. The only drawback about this case is the fact that it doesn't have an opening here for you to switch out your memory card or your battery. So if you do want to switch your battery or your card, you have to fully remove the case and switch it, then put the case back on. That's the only thing. The good thing though is if you're traveling, you're probably not going crazy with the photos. So if you're using a larger memory card, you're gonna have a ton of room there to shoot a bunch before having to switch out your card. Now, same goes with the battery. I think if you're on vacation, you're not constantly shooting all the time, so you're probably not gonna have to switch out your battery every single day. Obviously, if you're working, then you might need to switch it a little more often, and this might get a little annoying. But with that said, I still love this case. I think it's really beautiful. It's very high quality. The feel is really nice too. It's just really nice overall, and I love the color. Now, still about cases, I have another version, or more like another brand that I really like. So this was the first case I bought, and I really like this one because it has openings on the bottom right here, so you can switch out your battery and your memory card without having to remove the case, which is really handy because it's one less thing that you have to do. So it's really nice. And also the feel of this one is really good. It's really soft. The leather is really high quality. It's handmade. I forget what the brand is called. Let me just look it up really quickly. It's by Bolin US. So this, I think they sell on Amazon, also Etsy. I'll link this up for you guys in the description box. But it's a really nice case if you don't want to spend a ton of money on the Leica case. This is, I think, out of the options I've seen, this is the best one because especially the openings here that you have that are really helpful, and it's also really well made. I like the white contrast stitching, which is really pretty. They have this in a million different colors, and I feel like you can definitely switch these up in case you're going for a different aesthetic or something like that. They're not crazy expensive, so this is a really nice alternative to the Leica one. The only reason why actually I purchased the Leica version of it in brown was because I really wanted that specific shade of brown and that texture that I could only find with the Leica cases. This brand didn't have the same shade of brown, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna bite the bullet and just get the real one. But if they had the exact same color, I probably would have picked up another one of these just because this is so helpful. But with that said, I love these two cases, and I'm probably going to go back to this once, I get enough of the brown one, and but it's nice to just have options. Now, still within the looks of the Q2, I also really love and have used this for probably 2 years or more, the rope Leica strap, which I really like because they have two options. So you have a shorter version and you have this one, which is the longer version. What I like about this one is that it's long enough for me to wear crossbody, which I prefer instead of just using it on my neck like this, because I find that as I'm walking, the camera keeps hitting on my stomach if I just put it on my neck like this, so it kind of bothers me. So I really like this one because I can just kind of wear it crossbody. Honestly, even the leather one, the brown one here from Leica, is long enough for me to do that. It's a little bit shorter, but I can still do that. Now, if you're I'm 5'7", so I'm not very tall, but if you're taller than me, you're probably not gonna be able to do that. But this one is a little bit longer, and you have the option to use a crossbody. Also, what I like about this one is just the texture. It's really, really nice. You guys probably have seen this everywhere, but I really like the color. It is not fully black. It's black and gray, and it just feels really nice on your shoulder. It's not painful or anything, and I just like the way it looks. It's really nice. Now moving up to lighting, I have 3 flashes that I really like and use all the time, and I'm gonna start with my favorite one first. This one, it's a very affordable option. It's not Leica. It's by Lightpix Labs. So they sell this on Amazon. You can find this online. You can find this on bnh.com, so everywhere. But it's a very small, compact flash. It's not very powerful. But the cool thing about this flash is that you can detach this little guy here, and you can use this as a controller. So this is really nice because you can hold it with you can hold the flash with your hand, so you can control the direction of the light a little bit better, and you can just, you know, trigger the flash with this on your camera, which is very light, very small, perfect for the Q2. And you have a couple of buttons here that you can change the power of the flash. It has it's just manual, so it doesn't have TTL or anything like that. It's not very fancy, but you can adjust the power of the flash manually, which I prefer to do anyway. And with it, you also get a little video light. It's not very strong. This can be really handy if you just want a quick light, or, you know, if you're doing a macro shot, or if you're, you know, even for video, it's actually like you can use this if you're, depending on what you're doing. So it's definitely helpful to have this. You can also use this as a modeling light. So if you're in a dark environment but want to still use automatic focus, you can just keep this on and, you know, use this to get your focus right. So it's very helpful. I love this little guy here. It's very affordable, and the fact that you can use this as a controller is just such a great feature. And this is battery operated. You can use 2 AA batteries for the body of the flash or for the flash itself. And then for this little guy here, you just charge this via a mini USB. And the only drawback that I have with this flash in particular is that this little guy doesn't hold a lot of power. So if you're if you're doing a wedding, for instance, or a full day, if it's a wedding, I would probably just use this for dancing or for the dance floor, because it's usually, you know, a smaller portion of the wedding, and this would be enough. Now, this will definitely not last you, you know, the full day. So it's just something to keep in mind with this. But still, I think it's great. It's definitely a great option. I was still in the compact lighting department. I have this little guy here. It's the Godox Lux Junior. I think this recently came out, probably, you know, at the end of last year, and I picked this up. It's also very affordable. It's manual, but you also have an automatic ISO function here, which I never got into actually, because I just use the manual settings, which I prefer. This is really nice because it's compact. It's very close to the body of the camera, so you can use this, you know, if you want to do vertical shots, you can still do it. Because what I don't like about some other flashes, or just regular flashes, is that if you shoot, you know, sideways, the light just hits the subject from a weird angle, and I don't really like that. So I prefer to kind of hold it with my hand and use a controller, or you can use a flash bracket if you want. But it sits so close to the camera that it can still create a really beautiful lighting without looking kind of weird. So this is nice for that reason. It's very compact as well. This is actually stronger than the other one that I just showed. So if you were to pick up only one option and you don't care to use a controller, then this is really good. It's a really good option. Now, my last option from the lighting department is the Leica SF60. I bought this with the Q2 in mind. I have to admit that I use this more often with the SL2 just because of the size of the camera. I think that it balances better with a heavier body, and I find that this can be a little too heavy for the Q2, but I love the lighting that this flash creates, and I also like how easy it is to use, you know. This obviously does have TTL, but I just feel like it's easier to use manual because I can control how much light I get. But what I like to do is to use this flash with a controller, just like the first one that I showed, because that way you have more control over where your light's coming from. And with that said, I have the SFC one, which is made for this flash, and it's by Leica as well. I use this with the Q2, with the SL2. I really love this because you also have all the controllers here, and you can control multiple flashes at once if you have more of these guys. And it's very light as well. So if I'm shooting with the Q2, I like to put this on the Q2, and then that way I can just kind of direct the light from, you know, whatever angle I prefer to use. And especially because this flash is so compact still, you know, it's a very powerful source, but it's very compact. So you can hold it like this, or if you prefer to just kind of hold it like this, or, you know, just like regular. For the most part, I prefer to use it that way because I like when it creates sort of like that little beam of light in the middle of the shot. So yeah, I feel like these are my favorite options. But if I were to only pick up one of these three options, it's tough to say because I really love this little guy. But I think the Leica flash, you know, if you're working, I think it's the most powerful for sure. And if you get the trigger, then you have, you know, both options. So you can do on camera flash and you can just hold it with your hand. You can set it up on a tripod. It doesn't have to be so close to your subject, which is really nice. But yeah, I probably would get both. I would get the Leica one and I would get this one just because this one is so compact and it's so affordable as well. And moving on to my last accessory, I feel like this is more of like a necessity with the Q2, but it's just a very fast SD card. I've been using the Extreme Pro 300 megabytes per second from SanDisk, which it's not very cheap, but I think it's really good quality and it's very fast. It's fast enough for me. I've used Sony Tufts, but the ones I've used, although I really like the fact that they're metal, they were not fast enough even. So I think, you know, out of all the options that I've used, this guy here is really good because it's more affordable than the Sony Tuft and it's really high quality. They always have these on sale, so it's really nice to keep an eye on that because you might get a good deal and get a ton of these because they're very, very helpful. But yeah, these are my favorite accessories for the Q2. And let me know if you guys have any of these, if you have any other options too for flashes or for cases that you use. I'd love to know that. And I'll see you guys on the next video.